Update from the Monday Night Football game earlier this week. We've been talking about it the whole week. Damar Hamlin of the Buffalo Bills suffered a cardiac arrest and was technically dead on the field for 10 minutes before he was resuscitated. He's been at University of Cincinnati Medical Center since Monday night. Yesterday, we got an update we've been waiting on for days. He is showing signs of improvement. He woke up. He is communicating using hand gestures and writing down a few things. He still needs a tube to help him breathe. But neurologically, he's going to be okay. They're still not sure why this happened. The doctors who had a press conference yesterday, which I'll show you a bit of here in a second, they did acknowledge that if he would have arrived at hospital minutes or seconds later, the outcome would have been very, very different. So the assistant athletic trainer of the Bills and everyone on the field in Cincinnati on Monday night are legit heroes for getting him not only resuscitated, obviously, but to hospital when they did. And the clip we're going to show you here is one of the more extraordinary ones I've heard in a press conference in quite some time. Because the doctors who tended to Damar, who were with him when he woke up, said Damar asked him who won the football game Monday night. This is how it went.
One of our partners, when he asked, did we win? The answer is yes. Damar, you won. You've won the game of life. And that's probably the most important thing out of this. And we really need to keep him at the center of everything else that's going on.
How touching. Wow. First of all, so promising to hear this, and how touching to hear that was his first question. His head's still in the game. Wait till he hears how much money was raised for that toy drive charity.
Well, how overwhelming is that to hear what actually has gone on here?
Yeah.
Like, he's become an international face. The sympathy, the money for the fundraising, the fact
love.
they shut the game down. The NFL, they're not going to replay that game, by the way. It's official.
Yeah.
It's going to be a non-game on the schedule, and they're going to go through the playoff. Today, the owners are going to meet, and they're going to really figure out, in terms of Cincinnati, Buffalo, Kansas City, if they end up going deep into the playoffs, what happens with home field. Because right now, that's not the most important question, obviously, but it is a question. They're going to figure that out today.
But all the love and concern.
All the love. Like, when you wake up and you're trying to absorb that deal, that must be unbelievable.
I mean, just hearing that, the doctors just being able to, as a doctor, to be able to say, you just won the game of life. Yep. The first thing we said about that team that went out there to help him on the field was unbelievable. They were there within seconds. And as the doctors mentioned, what that did going forward to save his life. And then his teammates to see that and know that he's breathing now. The fact that he can move everything on his body, that was the scary thing. I was like, is he going to be able to walk again? He was literally dead. Like, he was gone. They brought him back. That is unbelievable what just happened. And we're witnessing something like just miraculous.
It's one of the most extraordinary sports stories I've ever seen. And the neurological aspect of that, as we heard those doctors have the press conference yesterday, and they said it a couple times, they had no idea how much oxygenated blood was actually getting to his brain throughout that entire process. And that's kind of, we're not doctors, kind of an important thing.
Very.
So the fact that neurologically he's going to be okay, don't get me wrong, long road ahead.
Long road. He's still in critical condition.
He's able to write, he's able to move his hands and his feet.
They were asked about his career and all that. They're like, well, no.
Just relax.
They still don't know why this happened. So they got to go through the steps. But it's some good news. And now it allows the Buffalo Bills and the NFL, quite frankly, some ethical room here to start to plan some other things, because I don't think anyone could do anything.
No.
With all sincerity, I know if I'm running the league, I wouldn't be able to do it unless I know he's okay at some level. And he's got a lot of recovery to go, but I think this changes the dynamic a little bit. I think they can now look ahead a little bit, and we'll see how the Bills got a game to play this weekend. It's not going to be easy.
But as a player, and and this is just me throwing this out there because I'm just thinking about this as you're speaking. And so forgive me if it's putting anybody on the spot. It's not what I'm trying to do here. But as a player, after experiencing that and seeing that,
are you more cautious?
What goes through your mind to approach the game or the sport that you love when you go to get on the field to play the very next game after seeing your close friend, teammate down on the field like that? Again, every play, something like this can happen.
Yes.
In that sport. And there's a lot of conversations that are going to happen about that. I know parents that take their kids out of that sport because it's too violent. They don't want that.
High contact sport.
Right? But people, again, I mentioned the very first day that people do it for different reasons, for the love of the game, for a ticket out of whatever situation they might be in or whatever you choose to do it for. But how do you go back on that field?
Well, Donovan Bennett, who we have on the show a lot here from Sportsnet, and his brother both played football.
Yeah.
And Donovan hosts a show on Sportsnet 590 The Fan. It's called Going Deep. It's his podcast. He had his mother on the next day. And Donovan asked his mother, what did you feel like when we were both out of football, when both the sons were out of football?
Yeah.
And she said very quickly, thank God.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of people love football. Deeply.
We love it.
But
it's
if
an
you're a parent,
entertainment.
Billions
and
if you're
billions
looking at
of
it from a
dollars.
different
Yeah.
angle, though, it's a different sport,
That's
man.
what I mean. It's a different conversation after seeing something like that, I think.
But to your point, Bills and Patriots this weekend,
yeah.
we'll see how they react. But the big news, Damar Hamlin seems to be getting better.
It's huge.
Thank God.